It is episode 117 of the pod. Barry Zito hitting us with the tunes from Nashville. Atta boy. Coach Flick Money running a little late. It's the OGs. It's Chopper. It's Ballgame. And we have a podcast. If this is your first listen, welcome. We give you eye black salute. This podcast is created for that coach who gets anxious, that parent who yells a little too much, that kid that is falling out of love with youth sports. We're here to help. And Choparooski, your beard looks probably better than I've ever seen it. So, how are you in Tucson, Arizona, my brother?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to get into it, dude. Let's get after it.
We are. We're going to go shout out right out of the gates. And this is Coach Bubblegum, who took our Coach Ballgame University. If you haven't, find it on my website. It's a playbook on how to coach kids in any sport at any age. I also have a skills course there, practice plans. There's a hit by pitch webinar if your kid's afraid of the ball. There's a how to deal with wild parents, parents that. Maybe that's a coach, maybe that's a parent in the bleachers, but how to handle them. We've got a lot of good stuff there. But Bubblegum is a he's a veteran of the university, and he said, "Hey, coach, checking in from the Oregon coast. I will try to be short. Moved to a rural town several years ago here in Oregon." And I'm finding after your podcast and learning the ways of ball game, chop, and flicky, I was initially frustrated with my efforts to tone down the rhetoric and negativity. I wanted to bring positivity. But after a few years, I feel like I'm starting to make some inroads. Like you and Chop and Flicky always say, I'm building my army of positive voices around me. This year, I have the chance to coach with some of the biggest offenders, and yesterday I got to show them in person how to do it. We have an 8-year-old crew on a 10U travel team, and there's a kid that can play. Yesterday, he got spooked in the box by an inside pitch, and he started shaking and crying. I called time, quietly and slowly walked up to him, and I asked him to take a deep breath, reminded him that confidence is an action, not a feeling. I reminded him that he deserves to be here just as much as anyone, and I wanted him to march back to that batter's box like he owned it, stare down the pitcher, and show him who owns the plate. He nodded, returned to the plate, and ripped a double to the gap. All this right in front of those coaches who have unsuccessfully motivated their own kids and players by yelling this season. Thank you, Ballgame Chop and Flicky, for your leadership, guidance, and kind wisdom to steer this great sport back into the right direction for kids. Um, Hope we can get you to the Oregon coast soon. That's Coach Bubblegum, who we got to know on the last run of the university. Flick Money has just joined us. If you're watching on the YouTube there, I sent that to our text thread. What were your reactions to that? We'll start with Choparooski with Bubblegum there.
I mean, you'd love to see it. I think it was Hundo, right? That brought up how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So for Coach Bubblegame, just you just keep modeling it. That's the best way to lead and serve is you just keep showing it, and you don't overreact when other folks get it wrong. You just keep showing and showing how to navigate, all the stuff that baseball brings. Tough moments, tough calls, uh, youth that needs your help and guidance. And so I love that he's doing that. I'm proud of him, and I love that he's starting to see some results from his efforts.
Indeed, indeed. And we're not perfect. I made probably three mistakes yesterday, two mistakes on Saturday, like not perfect whatsoever. But own up to it when you do make a mistake. Had a great question in Henderson, Nevada. Shout out, amazing sandlot, amazing coaches who stayed for the coaches clinic afterwards. They were involved. Um, and we had Coach Pop Tart, who was running a great throw and catch station in the clinic afterwards. He said, "Do you ever relapse? Do you ever go back into old, rookie ball game mistakes?" I said, "Every single day. Like that's just who I am. Those impulses, they fire off immediately, especially with a kid who's being disrespectful. man, it bothers me. But over 21 years, that volume has gone way down to the point where when I feel that impulse, I can just chuckle and go, wow, look how far I've come. Flick Money, you got to meet Coach Bubblegum at our last Coach Ballgame playbook. What do you got for my man in the Oregon coast?
Well, he's right down the street. Good morning, Chopper. Good morning, Coach Ballgame. Thanks for having me. Um, what I love about what Coach Bubblegum laid out there is, and Chopper, you kind of alluded to it, but this is a marathon. Working with young people, if you're a coach, we're not just coaches for a season. We're not coaches for a game. We're not coaches for one playoff run. We're coaches for life. And the fact that this is a 3-year project, that these blossoms are now starting to uh, flourish on this beautiful plant that you've planted, but it takes time, you know. I've never been a great gardener. I love that other people's gardens look great. I'm an immediate gratification uh, cowboy, you know. I'm a bronco rider of immediate gratification in a lot of ways, and so it takes a lot of, like you're talking about, Coach Ball Game. It takes a lot of patience and understanding with myself to know that about myself, and to remember the goal is way out here. And just because I'm bringing positive energy to the yard doesn't mean the other dugout's going to do it. It doesn't mean the parents on my own team are going to do it. And it doesn't mean my players or my assistant coaches are going to do it. And it certainly doesn't mean that every day I'm going to do it. So this is a long road, and I just love the perseverance. And I love that now at mile marker, you know, you're at mile marker 11 of this marathon, coach. And there you are seeing great things happening. So thank you for the grit and the perseverance. Thanks for hanging with the teachings. And it's inspiring, coach. Makes me want to go and do something great today.
Man, I know. Bubblegum, you're inspiring us just as much as we're fueling you. I black salute and leadership. Just keep leading by example. Talking about leadership, Chaparoo has a brand new gig in Tucson, Arizona. The floor is yours, Chop. If you're in that area, what should they be looking out for, brother?
Man, yeah, I confirmed am now the vice president at the Hitting Factory, and so a huge deal. Super excited. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to get in there and just kind of help grow the business and continue to impact in a positive way. It's a beautiful facility. We have 11 cages indoors. We've got a tremendous space for ground balls, a big, huge turf area, and I want to build out a beautiful weight training area and get a hit tracks in there and a Rapsodo Pro and get all the tech needed to really just be kind of the premier spot in Tucson. We don't have that here. And so they're popping up all over California. They're popping up all over Scottsdale and the Phoenix area. And we're looking to become that premier spot. It's right off the freeway, right off the 10. So we'll be able to draw from Casa Grande all the way to Vail and Sahuarita, which are, it's just a huge area and there's huge potential for growth. And I'm really, really excited for the opportunity. So can't wait. Yeah.
No, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like since you graciously gave up your coaching job with the Dodgers to be with your family, you just haven't found the right gig yet. And this is about as close to it as we can get. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I just needed to find an area where I could get like-minded athletes and parents on the same page. And so when you're diving into the high school area, it's probably 85 to 90% what you want, but the believe it or not, the 15 to 10 to 15% can get your job removed from you. And so that's been my experience, 2 for 2 on that. And that's okay. Parents have a right to navigate whatever they want to do, and they have that authority to do so. And I support them in that. But this is a different story. This is going to be that homeschool prep academy that we're starting to see, like I said, popping up everywhere. Just shadowed the legendary prep academy yesterday. Shout out to them in Scottsdale, doing an incredible job with 56 students enrolled and a number of D1 recruits coming out of it, because it's like Nick Saban says, it takes what it takes. And if you're going to sacrifice, 5 to 7 hours a day on your craft, 5 days a week, you're gonna pass a lot of kids, and not just that. It's preparing kids for the tech and the workouts in the weight room and on the field that they're going to see at the next level. And so it gives your athlete kind of that head start for just being aware and learning how to train the right way, nutrition the right way, all the tech that they have at all these D1 schools and obviously pro. So they get to learn how to use it now, and they're one step ahead, and they know with confidence when they're going into an SEC school that they know what's required of them, and they know how to do it, and they know how to do it at a high level. And so I am just blown away, excited. I have a team behind me that is supporting this financially, and I can't thank them enough. And they're just allowing me to kind of realize my dreams. And yeah, it's pretty special, man. I feel like I have a unique set of skills. I'm like Liam Neeson's
Oh,
in Taken, and this is the right spot for it. Yeah, this is the right spot for it.
we got to get a Liam Neeson salute going.
I have a specific set of skills.
Oh man! By the way, he's bringing back Naked Gun. Hello. How cool is that? If you haven't seen the trailer for the new um, Naked Gun franchise, it is coming, and now it's not Leslie Nielsen, it's Liam Neeson. I mean, how cool is that? Um, Chopper, proud of you if you're hanging in there, man. You know, like we win, we learn, as Hunter Pence said, and I think you've found your lane. And hey, in Puerto Rico, Francisco Lindor went to a baseball academy. They're popping up in the DR, at Cuba. Why not Tucson, Arizona? Where if you're that elite player and you really want to take it to the next level, find a coach that's doing it the right way. This is just reality, right? That 99% of kids are in blue jeans, flannel shirts, and I'm showing them how to love the game of baseball. But there is a small percentage that need what you're creating there, and we need level-minded coaches who can inject common sense into that world too. Flick Money, I know you're in the Seattle area where you see a lot of elite teams, players, coaches as well. So, any advice for Chopper as he gets this hitting factory going?
Well, no, I mean, Chopper's, I know this is your love. You're a teacher. This is a teaching space. You're going to be teaching all kinds of different, it fits your really unique skill set as a teacher, which I love. And how lucky are we as a culture that even in a time when this elitism and, those who can do and those who can afford it, because, let's be honest, not every kid who walks through your door is going to be a D1 SEC player. There's going to be some kids who just think they are and whose parents want them to be and who are going to be able to pay for it. That's what keeps the doors open in some cases. But the blessing is to have you there as a teacher, being able to work the character development side, coming from the angles that you're coming from with the heart you're coming from. I mean, as a culture, we are so lucky to have you in that space. So I just feel grateful, happy for you, happy for your family, for the diesel and the kids. The dad's gonna gets to wake up and have a smile on his face and stay in Tucson. So blessings on you, man, and all over that operation and anything we can do to help, obviously. I'm all about it.
Yeah, how have I not done a Tucson Sandlot yet? Let's go. That's just got to happen sooner rather than later. Get the band back together. Um, I want to just revisit last week with a conversation we had on kids that are neurodivergent. We've got a ton of response from our discussion. Kids with ADHD, autism, and Flick Money got so many emails to the point that he's like, guys, I'm just going to write a curriculum and we'll do a webinar on this puppy. So look out for that as he's putting paintbrush to canvas as we speak. But I wanted to read a response from one of our loyal listeners. I just listened to episode 115 of the Talkin' Shop podcast. So this was actually episode 115. If we go back 2 weeks to the episode on kids with ADHD and neurodivergent. I'm the mom of an 8-year-old ball player who has diagnosed autism and ADHD. His new coaches have asked for strategies to support him, and I'll be able to refer them to this podcast. Bang. I have a few things to add as an autism ADHD parent. I don't know if you'll read it. We're reading it right here, and I asked for your blessing to read it on the pod, so thank you very much. Little backstory, our son was undiagnosed when he started to play ball. My husband, his dad, was the coach, and I'm a board member of our community. It was during our son's first few practices and games that we knew he must have a neurodivergent brain. He couldn't roll with things. He needed so much support. Fast forward 2 years later, he's got his diagnosis, and his dad and I led his U7 team to win the championship last year. Our son was deservedly awarded Most Improved Player. That's a huge accomplishment. Improvement salute, and how about patient salute for all those coaches and you two, mom and dad. My few suggestions to add to your wonderful answers on the pod. Communicate any changes and out of the ordinary plans to the child with autism and ADHD, ideally before they occur. That's a big one. Children with autism learn routine well. They thrive when they know what to expect. My son's biggest struggle at his first ever practice, which triggered a practice long meltdown, was when they weren't playing baseball at all at the practice. He was expecting to hit pitches and play catch like he and his coach did at home, his dad. I don't recall the exact drills, but I know there were tennis balls and ropes involved, no actual baseball as he was expecting. Going forward, we discussed at dinner or on the drive there what Coach K was planning to do that practice. Um, Warnings and plans help! Exclamation point. So I push pause right there and Flick Money. I think that's a good place for you to just add a little bit of color when it comes to expectations with the kid with neurodivergent brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what he's pointing out to, which is true of all kids, but it's ramped up times 10 with neurodivergent kids is they do really well with structure and with known routines, understanding that when they get into this baseball park space and things are different than their daily life moves, that there's some things that they can buoy to where that anxiety that starts to creep up, which can look differently if you're on the ADHD spectrum or the autism spectrum, but it just helps mitigate all that stuff. So the genius part of this is communicating practice plans, changes from practice plans, talk through the reasons why we're doing certain things. The why is really important for certain kids. And another one, coach, is making those visual. So, a
Hmm.
lot of times we talk, but we forget that that's only one of the three main learning styles, and it's not even the best one for most boys in general. Definitely better for girls, but making it visual. So, having practice plans written up, whether it's a carry along whiteboard or one of those post-it notes, a giant post-it board. You just have it written down, and you can teach things, and show them visually. Those are really helpful, and so we'll get into that when we do the spotlight course, coach. And I'm just so stoked that this conversation's happening.
Bingo, bango. I'm gonna have to hook you up with this mom because I'm sure you can just you can get some notes with her, have a conversation. It'll help with your spotlight course. I love the final question about fear-based motivation. Do not use at any age with children with autism and ADHD. As you guys discussed, these kids are often too much or not enough, met with lots of criticism, and often have very low self-esteem and self-worth. These children, they need coaches and fellow players who will lift them up, celebrate their successes and wins, and gently help them learn from their mistakes. Any fear-based motivation and or punishment will backfire huge. It'll just make them hate the game. Lastly, non-judgment. That's my biggest thing as a mom. He's going to have highs and lows at every game and practice. He'll struggle, and he'll also cheer with his arms above his head when he gets on base. When he struggles, accept it. Help him with encouragement and understanding if you can. Don't take it personally, and don't let it affect your relationship with him and his abilities going forward. What I'm noticing here is very consistent with how we coach neurotypical kids. Just adjusted ever so slightly and more gently um, to accommodate, to become a savant of the person, meeting them on their own playing field. For my age group, when I notice they close their ears during an attaboy or an attagirl challenge, that I have to make sure I'm controlling the volume. Sometimes I want it to get loud where, hey kids, let's cheer really loud, but I've got to pivot. Otherwise, this child with autism who can't handle loud noise, they're going to be thrown by that. So, reading the room. Um, this was an awesome, awesome email from Coach Jenny. We'll call her Coach Jenny, and she added just some great notes there from a mom of a kid with ADHD and autism. And I have another one from an actual doctor. We'll call him Dr. Ray, and we'll save that one for next week because he's got some methods as he's worked with this population for over 20 years and tips for us. I mean, I need it. I need it every single day. I think if education breeds patience, especially in this world. So the more I'm educated, the more patient I am. And I can tell you, I've got a neurodivergent kid in my Wednesday class, and holy cow, has he improved? The improvement, not just with baseball, but social skills. And actually, when I ask, hey, how fast can you get there? He actually wants to be known as Need for Speed. That's his nickname, and it reminds him, oh, yeah, I got to hustle. I can't space out. So yeah, that was a great email. Appreciate it, Coach Jenny. Chopper, I'll throw it to you. Uh, Takeaways from that email.
It's no, it's great. It's just all about having a plan. You just got to have a plan, and you've got to communicate. And so that's kind of obviously more important with this athlete, but I think that's applicable to all athletes. And timing, you got to have good timing as a coach as well. So I love it, and it's great that we can hopefully help in that arena.
Yeah, coaching is professional room reading. That's a big, big part of it. Um, I tell you who's not reading the room, and that's some coaches in youth sports, specifically Little League baseball. Right now, it's playoff time. So before we get to our questions from all of you listeners, I wanted to hit this topic. Playoff time, it's more precious. The wins matter more, and I'm hearing many stories of 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women who are uh, quite honestly, just being an embarrassment to their community. Their stories in this town, in different states, it's all over. It's rampant. Just read some of the comments on my last few posts on Instagram and Facebook about this. And I did a post this morning shouting out once again the coaches in Henderson, Nevada. It reminded me a lot of Wenatchee, Washington, Coach Flikke. Just buy-in, community buy-in, where the coaches were on board, showed up early, um, dug it, and then stayed late. They stood their ground when they needed to get home, probably, and get dinner going. They stayed for the coaches clinic, and I felt the same thing. There was a Coach SB, a great, she runs the girls program there in Henderson, and Coach Good Vibes, who faced off in a staring contest and an attaboy attagirl challenge. And I want to hear your remedies for crazy behavior by coaches and parents during these playoff games that I guess mean more. But I say get the coaches together. Coach Quack, he's across the hallway here at our offices. He's in the championship game tomorrow. I said, try this, dude. You and the other team's head coach gather both teams to the pitcher's mound before the game, and you two shake hands and say, guys, you know what? This whoever wins this game, great. But the win is not a life or death thing. We're going to win with class. We're going to lose with sportsmanship. We're going to respect each other. And right now, me and this coach, we're going to do a staring contest. and then we're going to do an attaboy challenge, and then we'll play ball. And I'm serious. Talk about setting a tone for the kids of like, oh, well, I don't need to be nervous. Setting a tone for all the parents who are so anxious. They're going to go, wait a second, this is not the vibe. Why should I? I don't need to yell. I don't even need to yell at the umpires today. Set that tone, coaches. I think um, I'm serious. Do it. I really, I'm at a loss when I hear a 7-year-old playoff game is going nuts and there's cursing and there's yelling and fighting between coaches and parents. Um, it's crazy. But let's start with Flick Money, and then we'll go to Chopper. Any remedies, any advice for these coaches who they want to win this trophy?
Well, yeah, this morning, I was late jumping on here, Coach. I was out hustling Uber starting at 5:45 this morning, getting paying my
Hustle
way through
salute.
graduate school. Yeah,
Hustle
hustle
salute.
salute. And I had three different vehicles. I'm typically a pretty quick driver. I was probably five over in three different instances where people, then they're tailgating me. Like I got a child and their mom in the car trying to get them to school because they go to a school way across the city. And someone like tailgating me, like trying to bulldog, and then slides by literally 6 inches next to the car, like to as if to say, it's the equivalent of the kid in the hallway going down and then knocking the books out of your hand. Um, and it happened three different occasions just this morning. And I was just like, what is going on? And it just, for whatever reason, sometimes things jump in the air, but the lack of emotional control. It's really not being emotionally aware and the lack of control of those emotions. And it's very easy as adults, especially when we're around kids, to for that stuff to leak out, especially when where it looks like anger, but underneath that, there's probably stress, financial stress for a lot of folks. Whether it's, people can be sick in the household. There can be, unrealized goals or dreams that they're dealing with, like that kind of disappointment and regret. All that can get mixed together, but typically as men, especially, it just comes out as anger and rage. And it just doesn't have a place for it. There's no place for it around children. It doesn't make any sense. We spend all those years in school teaching them what? Impulse control. No, you don't just get to stand up whenever you want. No, you don't just to get to haul off and hit the kid next to you. And we do all of that so what? They can come to a ball field and an adult is going to then revert back to their childhood self and just start screaming at people, trying to pull kids off the field because they're really good, but they happen to be taller than everyone. So you want to test their birth certificate to see if they're should even be on this field because you're losing. It's just bananas, man. So advice is, I'm giving myself advice here. We have to learn how to manage our emotions, be aware when those things are building in other places in our life, and find a different outlet than a place where children are. They are not the place. They are not the repository. They owe us nothing. We are not entitled to anything as a result of their hard work, their play, their results of we're not entitled to any of that. What we get the gift of is being a part of their process, being a part of their journey, and supporting them. And you cannot say that you're supporting someone when you're screaming and yelling and lashing out in anger. So some other healthy outlets for that energy, therapy. But if you just can't sit still, how about some good quality exercise? I recommend something that's both dynamic, physically challenging, and has a breath component, like a really solid vinyasa, which is like a flow hardcore yoga, where it will kick your teeth in physically, but it will also give you a connection time to your breath and get some of that energy out of your body and out of your muscles. Um, and for some people, they need to go throw some big weight around. That's cool. Do that too. You got to be careful because that can jack up your testosterone. And then all of a sudden, now you're even more, you can't even show up with even a little more edge at the yard. So you got to be mindful of what you're building and what you're getting rid of. But yeah, coach, this is a human problem. And it seems like we're in a time of great rage and anger and hurt and resentment. And so it's gonna be a process.
Indeed, a process, but it'll never make sense to me when you're pleading with a child to have self-control while you are practicing none of that. You have no self-control, you're out of control. So, a deep breath always helps me. And just be honest with yourself. Have a we all have an ability to have rage, and just open up open that up. I think a lot of guys that rage in these moments, they're the ones who would they'd never confess that they do that. Like, no, 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 I don't have that problem. Just like a kid who is afraid of being hit by the pitch. No, 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 I'm not afraid of hit by the, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. No, you have a rage issue because you're a man, and so do I. Anybody can snap. Um, so self-awareness, self-reflection, therapy, it's huge. It's important. May I say it's a necessity. If you're going to be a youth coach, um, you got to own up. You got to look in the mirror and yeah, be vulnerable. Chopper, what do you got for crazy coaches in Little League playoffs?
Yeah, saw it over the weekend. We had all of our championship games, and it was interesting. I think some of it is set on like just setting clear boundaries, and so that comes from the umpires. The challenge we have is because parents are so nasty toward and coaches are so nasty towards umpires, you can't find umpires. And so we had a championship game where it was a 12-year-old umping the bases and a high school student, I believe a junior, behind the plate. And so you had a play where 12-year-old made a call, the right call, and the whole entire field and good people. I mean, I know the coaches on both sides, great people, were yelling at a 12-year-old. Um, and it's just this dynamic of like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump on the little league board next year and be in charge of umpires and teach them how to navigate it and set boundaries. And I'm gonna ump a lot of the games, and I'm gonna make sure everyone knows, hey, spoiler alert, umpires are gonna make mistakes. That's gonna happen. Uh, that's 100%. There's 100% probability of that happening. So you get to decide how you handle it. If you handle it poorly, you'll get a warning. If you handle it poorly twice, I'm going to send you and your son or daughter home. And that goes for coaches and spectators. And so you just have to set a boundary. And I think over time, a few people will get sent home, but we can really pretty much eliminate this by our expectations as a league. And so we can't change it across the nation, but in our little area here, in our little league, with 450 athletes, we can change it. And it starts with that. If you have an issue with a call, call time respectfully, because remember, the kids are watching what we're doing. We're modeling to them how to respond and how to deal with adversity. We're insisting that they respond in a composed way, but then we can't do it on a call. So call time, go out there calmly, respectfully, ask for clarification, ask for help if it's warranted. And when they make a final call, thank them. And that's it. That's all we're allowed to do. And if we don't do that, you'll get a warning. And if you do it again, you and your son or daughter will be sent home. And so that's the platform that I'm going to be running on as the umpire commissioner for our awesome Little League here locally. And I hope that others follow suit. That's what they do in a lot of club ball settings. That's the rule. If you get warned and you keep it up, you and your son or daughter are sent home. And I think that's really the only chance we have, because for us to plead with folks to be better, it's not working. We just need to start ruling with a little bit more of an iron fist when it comes to this, and stop recommending it. I think that's the short term answer, and then hopefully we can change the culture a little bit more organically by that consequence of like,
I
dude,
love that,
yeah,
Chopper. That's so awesome. It's difficult to empower a 14-year-old, though, to tell an adult that they need to leave the park. I mean, that's tough. So I love that you're stepping in on this. This is a gr absolute great use of, the Papa Bear masculine energy, passion that we all
yeah,
contain, is to both empower young people who are doing this job to make money and to support our kids' games, and also to help step the level of a community up when it comes to your whole mindset around this. I love it, man, and you're inspiring me. I have I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna make a phone call and find out who the Umpire Association is and how I can help, because I think that's a great place to work from.
yeah,
Strong. I don't know if I have agreed with you on on an answer more, Chopper. That is it, is accountability. It has to happen, and that's why the strongest hearts and souls in every community need to be that league president to be able to create the expectations. And when this happens, it's a quick no. And we're going to need a year of training and therapy before you're allowed anywhere near a child. And I think a lot of presidents are probably afraid of conflict or it getting weird with these volunteer coaches. That's nonsense. That's got to stop. This is getting ridiculous. 5, 6, 7-year-old kids are crying because a coach is cussing at a parent on the other team. Woo. Most of it about wanting to win so badly. I posted GMA, Good Morning America. They ran a story yesterday about a coach going nuts on an 11-year-old girl, and um, I think we've hammered this about as far down as we can, but I'm gonna struggle to find the clip for social media here because there's so many good sound bites. But um, lead by example, hold them accountable, and presidents and board members do the right thing and do it quickly.
Yeah,
Anything
and
else, boys? Yeah.
call in your local find your local chopper, your local ball game, your local flicky. There are former ball players around who, if you went to them and said, "Hey, we need you. We need you to work with our young umpires to teach them," they can of course they can get better at their craft, but also how to empower them to manage these spaces, to set some clear boundaries, and also let's be the agents of change here. I bet there's in almost every community you're going to have a guy who could do this role. And if you rolled it out to them the right way, or you made them their favorite pie, give them their favorite homemade pie, you'd probably get a guy out there to do it, because there's a lot of us former players who know that it's psychotic and we want it to be different, but we're involved in our own kids' lives and we got our own stuff going on. But man, this would be a great use of energy. This would be a great direction, coach.
100%. Um, I want to get to a few questions today, and we touched on this last week, but I want to give it a little bit more time. It's a 6U coach and just wants to teach situational defense, where to go with the ball, how to cover bases, tagging. But the problem is, there's rules where kids can just steal bases nonstop, and I've seen this with my daughter's games where no need to teach somebody how to cover a bag or get a force out or move towards the ball or back up a play, because kids are going to get on first, still second, still third, still home, and it's just a track meet. So go back and listen to did we just save Little League, that episode. But this is a coach who's played a long
Episode
time.
89.
In case you were wondering, episode 89. Played a long time, and he's just at a loss on how to get these youngsters to to learn this, and a lot of it has to do with the uphill battle of the rules. But some reassurance for this coach. I think we talked about gamifying everything in practice last week, and I'll touch on that again. Just use different types of balls, kickballs, use volleyball as a baseball. And that way, more balls are put in play during your practice scrimmages, and kids are learning and have them rotate from position to position. But just kind of talking this coach off the ledge a little bit. Fire away, Flick money, because it's hurting him mentally.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I feel strongly in two directions, right? If you can work on changing the rule, you can work on your kids learning the mechanics, and then the next level up is like, this will end at the moment when your kids become great catch players. The moment your kids can play a great game of catch, it shuts down the crazy running game. So they're you know, work on all three prongs. Yes, make practices fun. Yes, show them the mechanics of the game that they're not getting during the games. Yes, work on rules and trying to at the league level and trying to improve the quality. But the way you shut down a game, the way the kids in the Dominican Republic learn how to keep kids from stealing who are really fast is they become phenomenal catch players by the time they're 7 or 8 years old. So we just got to throw more. Unfortunately, I know modern life, we don't send the kids out the door like I grew up and go to the park or go to the backyard and come in when it's dark. We're a little more safety conscious, I think. The 24-hour news cycle has put fear in a lot of parents that we're imminently going to get kidnapped at any time if we're running around outside. So that's how I learned how to play. I couldn't find Chopper's Academy. There was not one within 3,000 miles of where I grew up. So we learned by just being outside and being at the park all the time. And I'm sad for kids that they don't get 1,000 games of catch in just with their friends for no reason. We have to organize it for them now, which just means, coach, you're going to have to work really hard and really pay attention to what Coach Ballgame University has on the throwing drills, on how to teach it, and it's got to be ways to make it fun and competitive, but they need to throw a lot, man, and that'll shut down the running game. It ends it. As soon as that catcher can pop up, crisp throw to the third, done. It's over. You're not running. Next.
Indeed. Bang. And yeah, as far as the university and those skills courses, I made them like bite-sized 1 minute videos so you can watch it with your son. So they'll love it. If they're watching Play-Doh and slime videos on YouTube, they're gonna dig this. And you get to watch it with them and talk about, oh, so you're moving towards the ball, you're getting on this side of the base, you're putting your hand here. These are the rules of the game. So that'll be good for you, no doubt about it. Also, this is 6U. I mean, these kids are six. So let's zoom out, coach, a little bit and remember we're still about 6 years from puberty. We're about 10 years from anybody caring at all about whether or not this kid can play college or minor league or major league ball. So a long way from that, you're still in the business of reeling them in, making it super, super fun. Six, we don't have to worry about uh, too much at that age. Chopper, I'm passing it to you.
Yeah, I agree with everything said. One thing I want to add is to speak to like changing rules. And I'm reminded of the quote, you can either prepare your kid for the path or prepare the path for your kid. And I think when we start trying to prepare the path for our athletes, we're stunning their growth. Like to Flick Money's point, like let there be a consequence and then learn how to play better catch. I think that's personally the answer. Um, I have no issue with getting beat. I have no issue with getting beat badly. It's great. It's like, all right, boys, hey, what an opportunity. We got to get better at playing catch. And as sooner we can play better catch, the quicker this stops hurting a little bit. Like feel the hurt, feel the pain. It's embarrassing. It's not fun. So what are we going to do about it? Let's get out here and play better catch and be a little bit quicker with our release and be accurate and don't just throw to your partner. Aim for the belt on attack play and aim small, miss small. And all these things that we know as coaches can help prepare the kid for the path instead of trying to manipulate the path to make it easier and less painful and less embarrassing. I am so far against watering down the game and making there less of a consequence for not being proficient, just in my opinion.
I wanna revisit that. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. This is a 6U coach though. So at what age do we go with that? Let's start to play a great game of catch, boys and girls. Is it six?
It's what I think it's just as a coach, you set standards. I think I've got plenty of 6-year-olds that can play good catch. Now, is it going to be perfect? Of course not. But like, I still believe that the more we say, hey, Jimmy and Jane, it doesn't matter what you do, just come out here and throw the ball around and laugh and giggle. I think that we're stunting growth potentially. Now, who cares who wins and loses? Like that doesn't matter. But it's like, okay, if you guys are sick of chasing the ball and run scoring like it sounds like this coach is, then you just highly encourage them to get after it in practice and set situations in practice so that hopefully they get better. And if they can play better catch by the end of it, I think it's a win. Now, if you change league rules, then what's the incentive to get better at playing catch? So just my opinion, not saying I'm right. But that's my opinion on changing rules to make there less embarrassment or whatever that feeling or emotion people are having. Play the game of baseball. It's hard. It's the hardest sport in the world. Ask Michael Jordan. Play better catch.
Yeah, well, Shopper, I'm with you. Here's the thing. Here's what I would say is typically most places on earth 6 use T-ball.
Correct.
And so the fact that they're playing baseball, now what I would say is it is worth a conversation, pass balls and stolen bases at 6U if we're playing full field baseball at that age. For the quality of the game experience, because we're going to lose kids who are just like, we're out here for 40 minutes, and I know that I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying make the path easier for them. We've already made the path harder for them by playing full field baseball at 6U. When I was, oops, excuse me, I was definitely playing t-ball at that age. So, it's worth a conversation as adults. I don't know that it's because I want to make it easier for the kids. What I don't want to do is chase them away, where they all go play lacrosse because it's constant movement and action and energy, and they get to smash people, and we stand out in the outfield for 40 minutes every inning while kids just run around. It's worth a conversation, more because I'm interested in being a steward of the game of baseball than I am in making it easy for the kids. Having said that, yes, let's get better at playing catch and shut the running game down. I think by U8, a realistic goal should be that they can boom, catch it or block it, pop up, make a good throw, hit them right in the chest, and we've shut down the running game. That's a U8 goal. But we got to be in that conversation right now, obviously, because that's how their league apparently is set up rules wise. So
And if
Yep.
you don't, and if you make it easier at 6U, there's no incentive for them to get better at it until they turn 8. And so that's my point is like, if you don't have that, whatever emotion you want to attach to the game of baseball, then it won't become important to them until they're 8. But if at 6 it gets tougher or trickier, then maybe by the time they're 8, they'll have a better idea. And doesn't mean I'm right. I'm probably wrong on this. Is this 6U like competitive baseball, or is this
it sounds
um,
competitive. If they're doing base stealing and if they're stealing bases and doing pass balls, I'm going to guess it's fairly competitive, which is probably why the coach's frustration so high.
way too
Yeah.
young at 6? So I missed that. So if there's such a thing as 6U actual baseball, then it should be T-ball and bubblegum. So let me say that as a caveat. If they're getting leads and stealing bases, um, dude, I don't know how many people at the age of 6 are doing that. So
Or
if you don't like that,
even if they're doing the little league ball cross home plate as a 6-year-old catcher, you're asking the pitcher to throw a strike, the catcher to be able to catch it, and I think neurodevelopmentally, I'll bring this to the next. I'll do this research, but there are stages in like 0 to 3, like there's some stages, and I think something happens between after like second and third graders. There's something that clicks. And I think a lot of it has to do with motor coordination that jumps up a level, and so there's a reason why it looks different at U8. So maybe that's something we can talk about down the road, whether it's worth a league conversation for them, simultaneously, hashtag get better at catch.
Heyo. I love this. This is great. I love disagreeing slightly and then sharpening each other. I absolutely see the value in a 6-year-old improving at the game of catch and learning the rules of the game. And there's probably 1 out of 12 kids that can do it at the pace you did it at. James Lowe at 6, Flikke at 6, Chopper at 6, and a lot of elite players that you see. The other 11, Dusty Baker it. Figure out where they are and how are they going to respond and learn in the best way possible. But zooming out, once again, 6U competitive ball, that's just saying those words back to back, I just got a little nauseous. Let's make sure they're playing basketball and going to the water park. Just slow the roll slightly. I didn't start playing rec ball till I was 8, and I never really played travel ball. But again, that was the 90s.
At
Um,
6U,
6U and competitive should be mutually exclusive. I think those two terms should be mutually exclusive.
yeah, but in some places are going to give you the kind of, um, Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights, like, we wake up every morning and we, eat excellence for breakfast and we're about winning and why not start teaching it at 3? Why are we going to wait till 8? Why am I even going to, you know what I mean? Like there are people who think that way. And I'm not, I'm coming through the door now of someone who's about to get a master of science. Like what does science say about their brains? What are they capable of? And I think it's the best tool we have to measure some of these things. So yeah, so I'm with you guys, man. I was mashing though. I will say T-ball Man, that ball looked big. I had an unbelievable season in T. I might have hit 1,000 in T-ball when I was six. I might have, because I could front side fly, lag that barrel as a lefty, and hit a side spinner over the third baseman's head at will, and they never were ready for it. It was like it was new every time. It would hit the grass and shoot off to the left. The left fielder has to run over. They trip over their little brother and the picnic and the puppies. Man, I was on fire that year.
I think we're on fire today. This is yeah. We all need a code word. We're freaking on fire, baby. Well, I tell you what can damper the mood is this next question. 12U rec ball coach here. Finding it hard to want to keep coaching. It's not the wins and losses, definitely not the kids. They're the reason I keep going. It's the other coaches who insist on belittling my players, my coaching staff, and myself for no reason other than they think it's funny. The leagues won't do anything, the umps won't do anything. I'm sick of it. I'm the coach that willingly takes on most of the new kids. And there's a lot in 12U. I am often starting from scratch. The gap widens every year because so few start late. Um, Man, I this is basically this is the bad news bears trying to be involved in 12U rec ball. And first of all, God bless you, coach, for bringing in those kids in flannel shirts and blue jeans. I can't tell you the amount of moms and dads that have come up to me and said, "You have no idea how much you did for our whole family." I've got a family of 5 boys. None of them played a day of competitive rec baseball, but they've been coming to my sandlots and camps for a decade, and now they're all incredible young men. And this is what you're doing. This is your job. And with that comes some giggling and comes some belittling from bullies who are insecure and don't get it. And I would never take advice from somebody I don't respect. So easier said than done, but I want to just let you know there's a big world out there for sandlotters. We're going to 50 different cities this year, and injecting common sense and inclusivity into this world. Good luck. But you got these 3 dudes on your side backing you up 100%. Chopper, let's go to you first here. 12U rec ball, and they're the fish out of water, man.
Yeah, I think this is why we need a 6U competitive. But no, I'm kidding. um, yeah, this is one of those things where control what you can control and look to give the bullies grace as much as you can. It does break my heart. It's just it's a bummer. So, but I mean, you can't control how other people treat you. You can just do a couple of things as the coach. Obviously, you need this coach because the other coaches aren't even willing to coach the kids that have no experience. Clearly, if they're making fun of them, then they have no interest in helping them grow in the game and just in life. So I think it's critically important. I don't think he should use too much of his energy trying to change the other people. Clearly, that's not something that's in their playbook currently. But just try to show them grace and try to have those one-on-one conversations where you can buy them a coffee and just say, "Hey, dude, like you guys may think it's nothing, but it's super hurtful for these kids. It's hard enough for them to go out on a limb and come out here on a field they've never been on with kids that are way more advanced. And so, can we, as a community and as a league, give them a softer landing spot to come out here and try?" So, but you can't do that overnight, and you can't do it with too many of them because what I've learned with bullies is you get too many bullies in a room and it's almost like they assemble like the Avengers, and then you've got no shot. So I think one on one, you try to slowly get them to see your point of view and understand that it's important and everyone matters, is what I would say.
And we get this is a common theme, Flick Money, of just that pioneer up against a mountain of bully and elite self-righteous folk. What do you got for this coach?
Coach, first of all, thanks for bringing the question. Important question. I'm someone who has a naturally protective Papa. It brings out the Papa Bear in me when I see stuff like this, and not always skillful Papa Bear. I can sometimes want big flick money will show up and want to, challenge someone or go after someone. I have to really watch that part of me. But I played against a coach in high school who was I was a varsity basketball player. We went to Gonzaga University, the great college program. We went to their team camp. We're playing this tiny high school from the middle of Washington, had 60 boys in the whole school. Their coach, and I had some dudes on my team that they were not nice dudes, okay? And this team walked out and it looked like, we were playing a middle school junior varsity team, and some of our guys were snickering and laughing. The other team's coach was this old dude, and he used humor to diffuse it. What he did is he leaned with that energy, and he was like, he would say to his guys, "Wow, look at these guys. We don't even have a team pubic hair, and look at these guys we're playing against. Can you even believe that we're in this game right now?" He would lean with them, and he would use humor. I swear to God, we got beat. They beat us on a like a 40-foot heave at the buzzer because we played awful. Their kids played way above their level. As soon as we let them in the game, they started to believe. And that coach stayed with the mantra, "We have no business being in this game. Wow, we're so lucky to be here." He kept flowing with it. I'm sure his conversations privately with his kids were like, "Hey, I'm going to say this stuff. I'm only all I'm doing is I'm tai. It's like Tai Chi. You know those guys. You see those old guys in the park that are taking their hands and moving energy around. I'm gonna Tai Chi that negative energy into humor. Please know that I believe in you. I know how great we can be, but it's going to look like I'm agreeing with the world. But I need you to know that is pure Tai Chi vibe. And I'm going to use humor as a way to move that energy. And it was a master class in coaching. And then we got beat. We got our asses beat. And there was a part of me deep down that I was like, that's exactly what we needed. It took us out of the championship running for the team tournament at the team camp, and we deserved it 100%. So that would be another tool you could bring in addition to Chopper's very sound and probably more practical human side advice.
Yeah, I would just say lower your expectations of other adults. I mean, it's just ugly out there, and there's a lot of trauma and a lot of wounded people out there coaching youth sports, and just expect it, sadly. And then that can calm you down enough to just see the humor in it, and know that those 12 kids on your team, they're going to be great servers of their community, great people, make great decisions in tempting moments because of you. And that's the reason for youth sports. I'll say it again, is to make good humans. That's it. Period. Um,
Boom.
man,
Coach,
that
I
was
love you.
good.
I love you, boys. I got to go teach.
Yeah, you do.
Chopper, congratulations. Right guy, right spot, right mountaintop.
Thanks, buddy.
You deserve it, man. I love you. Love you, Coach Ballgame. And
Well done.
remind
Atta
me, I got to do
boy.
the research. We're going to do some neurodevelopmental research on little guys.
Boom.
Go get
Have a great
him,
day, buddy.
Coach
See ya.
Flikke. Listener, if you want to get a private session in with Coach Flikke, he's taken on private sessions. If you just want a deeper dive of what we've been talking about here, seanflikke@gmail.com. Um, there's a lot of questions I can't get to. There's a lot of DMs and a lot of emails, but most of the questions are the same kind of vibes, same topics. So we might not hit specifically your question, or it might be a couple weeks down the road. But just listening into these pods, and by I'm reading these questions that I get, most of the advice is consistent, even if it's a different age group, different state. It's valid for you. Chopper, um, what do you got to close us out today on episode 117?
I am excited to launch our Character Matters campaign out of the Hitting Factory. And so we're going to go to local little leagues and we're going to hand out a character card. And that is going to award the winner of the Character Matters campaign a free month of hitting at the Hitting Factory. And because good choices matter, all of his teammates are going to get $20 off as well. So super excited to just try to spread the focus on character and sportsmanship, and if you can reward it and kids see like, dang, I can get a free month of hitting for making a good decision and being a good teammate. I learned it from you. You get what you reward, and so we're going to be getting out and having a presence in the public, looking for kindness and sportsmanship, and then we're going to drive them to the hitting factory where we can help them just continue on that journey of like, how much character can we have? And I want to say this for the parents that say my kid's really talented, and we don't focus on character. We focus on winning. We're not saying talent's not important, but what we are saying is you don't want to have your kid's talent level take them to a level where their character can't sustain it. And so no matter what, character is critically important. I hope your son or daughter plays at the major league level of whatever sport they're striving for. But if they don't have the character to sustain it, they're going to do a lot of harm to themselves and others. And if they have the character, they're going to have a tremendous positive impact on their community. And so that's our focus. And so I'm super excited for that campaign to kick off here.
Attaboy. Well, it's for another conversation, another day, but you've been through a lot recently, Chad Chop, and um, I I feel things turning for the better. That light is coming back in your eyes, and um, I I'm just proud of you for how you've white knuckled some situations, and I think you're in a space now where uh, Chad Chop can be himself. So, um, love you, brother. Well
Thanks, bud.
done.
Love you too. Excited.
Keep at
Bang.
it. I tried
Bang.
to make you cry, couldn't do it, but hey, was I close?
I'm all cried out, man. I got no more tears.
Ah, he's done. Uh, Rake.
Bang.
It doesn't get any better than this.